don't break. Don't break. The NYC Experience. Sifu Rafael people. Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Turn it up, let's go. Turn it up, let's go. Let's go. No time to wait. Bass too loud and the vibe too great. Let's go. Full on fire. Every move hit like a live wire. Let's go. Step in, go. No fear here, just hard to go. Let's go. Lights on blast. We don't hold back. We move fast. Hit the flow, we don't miss. Whole room lit like a first kiss. No cap, no stress, no chill. Just truth, emotion, and will. This is how we speak in steps. No script, just step. Every beat we turn it up and leave that silence in the dust. Let's go, no time to wait.
Hello, good morning, gentlemen. How are you this morning?
Great. Good morning.
Wonderful.
Good morning, Sifu. Good morning, Jose.
Buenos dias. ¿Cómo talibú?
Buenos dias.
Top of the morning to you.
Yes, yes.
That's right. We'll be saying that in April.
Konnichiwa. Assalamu alaikum. Kanyam saksai.
All those things, exactly.
In other words, I'm in New York. Lancelot's in New York. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing over there? You're right over there.
So today we want to talk and kind of help some people learn about how to show up, because I know you gentlemen definitely know how to show up. But I think that today would be a good idea to help people learn how to show up properly when they go to an event. And so let me ask you even this part. And I don't want to answer this yet, but I want us to talk about it and then come back later. And why is posting about an event a power move? Just think about that. Think about that. And so today I'm excited. I got to be honest with you guys. When it comes to showing up, many people, I think they confuse the presence, being present and participating. What's the difference? What would you say is the difference in that, Jose?
In terms of participating versus
Being there, just showing up.
yeah, so a lot of people show up to events to get value, but there's also the other side of the coin where you show up to events to give value, right? You show up to events to serve. You show up to events to see what you can bring to the table, what you can add to the experience. So there's two ways to show up, and the best way to show up is to like a combination of both, right? You want to give and you want to take, and it's okay to take as long as you have the disposition to give. But none of that can happen. None of that even makes sense or is a notable conversation if you're not in the room. So right. It's important to show up. It's important to be present. Presence is super key. It's a very important component to success, is being present and being fully there. Like there's presence of like being physically in the room, and then there's presence of immersing yourself in the experience, right? So you got to immerse yourself in the experience. You got to shake the hands. You got to show up with intentionality. You got to know what the end result is. You got to know what you're going to bring to the table and what you're looking to get out of the event. So if you show up with intention and you're fully present, and you're there to learn, to receive value, but also to give value and add to the room, it is amazing what can happen. But none of that is possible if you're not physically there and you're part of the experience.
Love that.
I want to piggyback on what Jose said, and it's about intention. And I've learned that you have to have the intention when you're present to add to the room. And what I mean by that is be the first to greet somebody. Be the first to shake somebody's hand. Be the first to smile and engage. It's just not about showing up, it's and being present. It's about that intentionality. And I find when you have the intention to meet and greet and ask people about themselves, you then give to the room, which is so important, not to take initially, but to give. And then when you're in a room with everybody trying to give, it becomes this give and take, which is really beautiful. And I find that with the events that we've been at recently, there's this incredible give and take of energy that is beautiful. And it's these experiences I'm having that I've not had with friends of mine that I've known for years, just based on intentionality. And I find that you can find, the whole thing about asking somebody about themselves and asking them what are they into is so important, because that kind of breaks down the barriers. And all of a sudden they're like, wow, this is what I do. And this is what's happening to me. And what do you do? And before you know it, you're in this engagement of conversation that is absolutely exhilarating.
I got to say that there is an important aspect of when you show up that people were expecting you. Like we were all expecting Jose on the yacht.
Yeah, yeah.
And when he showed up,
He was like, yay, Jose is he made
everybody
it.
was excited. And guess who's about to come on that we're excited? But it's about making that entry, if you will, coming in, and everybody's like, Teal's in the house.
Oh,
What?
there we go.
Yay.
T.O.
Good morning, fellas. Good
Hey,
morning. Good
yo.
morning. How
T.O.
y'all doing? Hey,
What's going
you.
on, sir?
What's
See,
happening?
that's the excitement I'm talking about, because when you've shown up at other places and people get to know you, it's something when we're talking, but we see somebody come through the front door or somebody walking in. And Jose, you're famous for that, because the last time you were walking in with your son, you guys were kind of like dressed alike. You guys look, and everybody, they started taking pictures of you guys walking towards us. It was really
Like Top Gun.
dynamic. The same thing with Dr. Reed when he walked in. It's like, okay, now we can have this party, right? So think about the intention that Jose talked about. And I'm also asking the question because a lot of people walk into an event and they're shy. And I get that maybe you don't know people, but the best way to get to know people is, like Lancelot said, is to introduce yourself, to say, how are you? I'm so and so. What brings you in today? I'm excited to meet you today. Why did you decide to come to this event? Any little small talk that can open you up and open them up. That's what I believe in. So the question was, why do you feel that some people confuse presence with participation at an event, and why does it matter?
Oh, it matters big time. I think, when I was backstage, I heard Jose speaking a little bit on the topic. And Lance just said it as well, that intentionality, man. Again, I look at that from a place of like, hey, man, New York City experience. Being in New York is just crazy dope just by itself. Some people don't like New York, like my wife. My wife is from the South. She does not like New York City.
Them
Um,
Yankees.
yeah, and it's one simple word that a lot of people say, from the South in terms of the North, and that's cold.
Mm-hmm.
She's always saying, it's too cold in New York. It's too cold in New York. Well, that's why we dress for the occasion, babe. We got to show up and do what we do, you know. But I think the intentionality of being in the room, Sifu, going in, it's one thing being interactive versus just being present. Because you're right, man. Yeah, my mind automatically goes to introvert, extrovert. We know this. It's as simple as one, two, three. But if you're watching these lives and you see the love, if you're a part of any of the communities or the outfits in which the gentleman on this, four squares right here is operating within, you see the true love. They're not going to allow you to be a stranger. They're not going to allow you to sit over in the corner like, I don't know what to do. I'm here, but no, they're not going to allow it. They're going to dance. They're going to smile. They're going to hug. I think about good old Gordon Melville when he made all the men stand up in the conference. And he said, all right, gentlemen, just give each other a hug. Everybody gives each other a hug. And he was like, now notice how you just did it. And he said, now switch it to the other side. Meaning everybody went from the normal embrace and grasp to switching it the other way. And he said, what do you know that's different? And everybody noticed it was the heart to the heart. And he said, and there's something within the body, within the genetic makeup, when two hearts touch, that really brings forth a different freaking level. So again, for the longest, I was trying to do that with my kids, things of that nature, and it does make a difference. So I think just being intentional, man, it's no other way of seeing it.
Yeah,
I gotta say, first of all, good morning, Tio. It's great to see you.
Good morning, bro. Good morning, bro.
And yes, I recall I was in the same room when Gordon,
That's right.
heart to heart
Right.
people, and I love that. Now I can't say I practice that the way as much as I should, but I think there's a difference in terms of the connection, and I think that's what we all seek, right? We seek deeper connections with everyone. So one thing I'll add, and what we're referencing, what we're talking about today when it comes to showing up, yes, we're talking generally speaking the importance of showing up and the power of showing up. But in this particular case, we're talking about September 14th, right? New York City Experience. And I don't know about you guys, but I saw Lancelot and Sifu Rafael doing some recon intel work on social media. Are chirping, the skies are aligning, and everything is looking really fantastic for that date. We're close to halfway sold out. You definitely want to be in the room. And I can tell you at the end of the day, we're talking about presence, and presence is your power, right? If you want to step into your power, you want to step into your strength and your authority and your influence, that's just being present. You got to show up, right? Never underestimate the importance and the power of being present, of showing up. There's a great quote from Woody Allen. Anybody know Woody Allen, right?
Yes.
He says 80% of success is showing up.
Yeah.
Right? 80% of success is just showing up. So the question is, are you prepared to position yourself to be successful? Right? And success doesn't always equal monetary what's in your bank account. Sometimes success is the power of your relationships. Sometimes success is how you can connect with people, right? How many people will actually answer your phone call? You can have a Rolodex of 10 million people, but how many people will actually answer your phone call, right? So these are the things we're talking about, and that's the opportunity we're bringing to you on September 14th, is the opportunity to connect with people on a deeper level, to receive value, to give value, and to really show up and be fully present and bring your power to the room.
Oof. Love that. Love that. Yes, September 14th. So think about this, right? When Tio said it's cold, right? A lot of people see New York as, let's put it to you this way,
Cold in another way.
not welcoming, not welcoming, right? So when we think about not welcoming, it's rude is what I've been told. New York is rude, they're nasty, all these things. But the three of us decided to create this so we can bring warmth to New York City, so we can bring the heart, so we can show people a different side of New York. There's beauty in New York. Lancelot and I, when we did our recon mission, we actually, by surprise, we went to a place, we looked at a venue, and it was really nice and very expensive and very classy and chic and everything. Outside was a whole mess going on. Inside was quiet, beautiful music. It was a French place. And they said, we have this room available, but it only sits 18 people. But it felt claustrophobic. It was it was beautiful, but it was small. And then they said, you can have that or you can have this. And so we're like, okay, thank you so much. We got all the information. And if we can have, up to 30 people in this space, but it was like all open. And so we walked outside and we said, let's go check out some other places. So we were on our way to take a look at another place. All I did is I'm walking, because I
Looked up.
love architecture. you know, being that that's what I wanted to be all my life, and I actually was able to do some of that. I look up on my left and I see umbrellas, and I'm like, umbrellas?
Let's go see what
Like,
that is.
that's got to be a rooftop. So I said, look at that, Lance. Let's go find it. We went up there. Can I tell you, the beauty of that place was overwhelming.
Oh,
We asked about it, and then the person said, oh, I can probably get you the manager. And great. And then, would you like to wait here? And then Lancelot's like, I want to go outside in the rooftop. What the inside was gorgeous too. It was huge. And he said, I want to go sit in the rooftop and I want to experience this. And we sat there. What an incredible moment that we were able to share, because the atmosphere, it wasn't loud. It was chill. It was sunny out, but the sun wasn't beating on us. And it was just an incredible time. So we want to bring that to the New York City experience, because that was a New York City experience.
it's
So
just
if you think about, I want to come to this event, but I'm not sure. Get that out of your head and forget the event. Think of the people that you're going to be meeting, because the people are going to impact you in ways that you may not even have imagined.
There is a powerful concept that not a concept, I guess a point that I had referenced to my brother, my older brother. I'm one of four boys, right? I have two older brothers and one younger brother, and my oldest one is married with 3 kids. My youngest brother is married with 6 kids. I'm married with 6 kids, and my older brother at the time was single, right? Now we didn't all have these kids. At one point, you know, we had less kids, but he was single, and he was always at home, and he was just like, you know, he was like talking about how he's not meeting the right person and how he's never going to get married and that kind of a thing. And I knew in my heart, I was like, he's going to get married. He's going to find the one, and he'll be fine, and he'll be good. But it was like a late bloomer, right, into 30s or whatever, late 30s, and then I said to him one day, because a mentor of mine told me this one day in a business reference, but I told him this on a personal reference. I said that you can't expect your future wife to show up and knock on your door as a FedEx delivery person or a UPS driver or the mail lady or the pizza delivery lady. Like, you're not going to meet your future spouse at home, right? Like, you got to get out there in the world, and you got to experience the world, and you got to meet people, and you got to shake hands, and you got to get uncomfortable, and you have to do that, right? Because remember, you don't get opportunities by just waiting around, right? You get them by showing up. You get opportunities by showing up. So I said, you got to show up. You got to like get yourself visible. And guess what? He's married now. And that's the key. And that's the key. So if you want to create opportunities for yourself, you want to do some cool things, just remember this: the right people can only find you if you get into the right rooms, friends.
right.
That's right.
Right. That's right.
And then get into the right room with intention, you know,
That's
and intentionality to add to the room and add to the people in the room. I know for myself, it's not too long ago that I learned that the intentionality is very important. You would think I've been doing this for years, and I'm used to showing up in a room with my presence. That's always been the case. You know what I mean? I come dressed in how I feel. But it hasn't been until recently I understood and understand the importance of not just showing up, but adding to the room and not just waiting for people, because I'm used to people coming over. You know, I played sports, I'm an actor. So you walk into rooms and you're used to people approaching you. I've learned in the last, I'd say, year and a half, how to come into a room and add to the room by approaching others. And I learned that the first time we had a premiere, and this is how I met Brandon Gondoris. And I had made the intention that I was going to go into the room and introduce myself as one of the actors for no other reason than to say hi, not to gain anything. But I had heard that this is what you're supposed to be doing. So I did it. And lo and behold, I met everybody in the room. And Brandon was one of the people I met. And then Brandon, we had another talk and he invited me to his function. And this is how I met all of you guys. But it all happened because of the intentionality of not just showing up, because I'm used to showing up in a room with a certain presence, but showing up with intentionality. And that is to add to the room, be the first to say hello, be the first to smile, be the first to ask somebody about who and what they do, engage the other person so that they are important as well.
One of the things that I think that we add to a room, Jose and I have been to rooms where we just went. We didn't necessarily, we weren't speakers, we weren't this, we weren't that. And we were there. And when I went to see Jose, because he said, I'm having this thing, you want to come? I'm like, sure. Yeah, it took me 5 hours to get there, but I said, sure, right? But here's the thing. And Jose is an expert at this. When he's in a room, he's not just in a room. He's a facilitator. And it takes a special, I'm going to say character, not in a negative way, but a positive character to say, hey, you know what? I need you to meet this other person. So it's almost like matchmaker, if you will, to not a love matchmaking, but a entrepreneurial matchmaker, because I got to meet Tio that way, right? Because Jose said, I need you to meet this guy. So he walked me over and then he introduced us and he was gone, right? So he came, made the introduction and he was gone. And that's something that is unique in what we have created with New York City Experience, that I do the same thing that Jose does. We all do it that way. But think about coming into a room and maybe, Tio, you talked about it perfectly. You may be an introvert. I'm the biggest introvert you guys ever met. Am I? Do I look it?
No.
I'm very to myself. But when it comes time to being with other people, yes, I'm out. So I do play both roles, if you will. So how can somebody who feels invisible or maybe overlooked start showing up in a way that impacts their life, that maybe they're so introverted that they're afraid of even their own shadow, but they made the effort to show up to an event? How do we help them to come out a little bit and be an extrovert, maybe for 2-3 hours? Who wants to take that one?
Okay, well, I will say I will take that, and I will say intentionality, and I would say get out your comfort zone and introduce yourself. Don't sit around and wait in a corner, because all that does is create more fear. And fear, once you walk through it, you find out that fear is just an illusion. So a lot of times we're introverted because we're fearful of what people are going to think about us. But if you just walk through that fear and your intention is to just meet one person, to introduce yourself to one person, that will begin to break those barriers down. And then you can do to another person, or that person you're engaged with, all of a sudden now you're engaged with another person. So it's important that intentionality, which Jose spoke about in the beginning, is very important. And if you go in with instructions in your head about what you're trying to do, it's much better than going in there and freestyling. Okay, I got to get in there and I got to say hello to that first person. All right, break that fear by doing that, and you'd be surprised how it'll break walls down and you'll be able to do it with someone else.
I'll piggyback off that, Lancelot. Great points, really solid points. One thing I'll say is the 6 P's, which I always reference, and that is proper prior planning prevents poor performance, right? So I'll say it one more time. Proper prior planning prevents poor performance. If we are prepared before we show up to a room, not only emotionally, mentally, spiritually, psychologically, all of the things, right? And we are prepared and we know in advance, what are we looking to get out of today? You know, who are we looking to meet? What is that golden nugget that's going to move the needle in my business and in my life, personally and professionally, right? You got to know these things in advance, because when you know what you're looking for, guess what? You can find it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what you're looking for, then you're just going to kind of go where the wind blows, and the wind might blow you in the ditch, right? Like a golf ball in the sand, right? That's where you might end up. So then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I spent money on a train or a gas or a flight, and here I am, and I didn't really get what I wanted. It was because you didn't know what you wanted. Right? You don't know what you don't know. So you got to know what you need to know, and you got to be prepared, and you got to show up with the right state of mind. So when you show up, know who you need to meet, know what you want to learn, know what value you're looking to add to other people, right? Know these things in advance, and also keep in mind the importance of, it's not so much the content that you're there for, right? Even because content these days you can find on YouTube, you can listen on podcasts, you can get it everywhere from a mentor. You know, if you're taking a course or a program like most of us are, you know, entrepreneurs are always involved in things, and we're always investing in ourselves. So the magic isn't so much in the content of what's happening in the room, it's the connections that you happen to make when you're there in the room, right? There's connections, it's the deeper relationships that you're building, right? It is the power connectors that are coming into your world that are going to expand your reach and are going to give you new opportunities that weren't there before. Right. And also keep in mind the understanding that, yes, you're going to pay for a flight or pay for gas or pay for a train ride, you know, whatever it is. For me, it's a train ride or a rental car, because one of those two is how I get to New York every time I go. But I can tell you right now, that is a small fee. And for some of you, it's free. For some of you, you live right there in New York. You can just walk there or drive there and spend $5, $10 in gas. Right. But showing up, right? For some of you is free, for some of you is very minimal in terms of cost, but not showing up can cost you everything.
Oh yeah.
Powerful, bro.
Mic drop.
Yeah, man.
That's right.
Earlier, you talked about, Lancelot, about Brandon. Brandon could not be at our previous event, but guess what? He's coming to this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bro.
So he did secure his seat.
Nice.
And somebody that we just met in Philly and Jersey said, you know what? I need to be in the room too. So we
Oh
also
yeah,
have
Mike. Yeah, yeah.
Shout out to
doing
Mike.
this as well.
Big Mike.
So there's a bunch of people that I'll pull across as we talk. Why are these gentlemen saying, I need to be in this room? They've been in other rooms with us, right? Think about how many events that you've gone to that they have a show about the events, right? We're probably the only show out there that has the guests who've been on it. Tio, you've been with us. And to talk about the experience, to talk and teach people how to network better, how to show up better, even how to dress right. We have people who are very, I'm going to put it this way, showy, right? And one of them is Lancelot. The man is dressed to the T's, right? Jose dresses, he's got his style. Tio has his style. I have my style. But everybody has their own style. And sometimes it's not the dress or the outfit that we're looking for. It's the content that that person has inside that they're willing to come out and share with us. Because when we create an event, it's about sharing, it's about networking, and it's about growth. So if those are the things that you are lacking or you need more of, we're New York City Experience. And here it is. It's going across the screen. Text NYC to 516-242-8732. and we'll give you the rundown. We'll make sure you get your seat secured, because we just got somebody who signed up last night. I don't even have the image up yet, but it's going to happen.
Come on, name drop. You got a name drop. Who is it?
Okay, Carly, right? I'm going to give you her full name right now. Carly Wolf, right? So Carly Wolf is going to be joining us. And I have a bio, I have her image. I'm going to throw it up. We are getting people constantly saying, "Oh, I want to be there. I got people from Canada asking, when is it? What time is it? This, that, the other." And some people are like, "Oh my God, I got commitments. I'm trying to change my commitments so I can be there with you guys." Why are certain people looking to change their commitments so they can join us? Because they know the power.
People in the room.
That's right.
People who are going to be
People in
there.
the room.
Yeah,
So,
it's like Brandon Gadoris, man. Brandon, think about Brandon, bro. Brandon constantly operating at a high level. Constantly from Long Beach to up in Sanford. Sanford. He's as Jose says, man. He's a high power player, man. In the game of speaking, just speaking alone. If you want to speak, because I see it every day. I know you gentlemen see it every day, all across social media. I want to speak. I want to speak. I want to speak. And as the brothers just said, man, you have to be intentional. Like I want to be in New York City because I know the gentleman on this screen, plus Brandon Gadoris, plus Michael Stevenson, plus Emilio Roman, plus Anthony Cutno. All these people are the
Bill
people I want.
Borders.
Yeah, no doubt. I want to be around these people 365, not just for a day, not just for a couple of days. I want to be around these gentlemen for the longevity. And the ladies. What's the lady that was live with us not long ago, Steve? She lives in New York.
I'm going to put her up for you, buddy.
I
I'm
can't
just
remember her
looking
name.
to do that right now. Give me a
She
second.
lives right there in Manhattan.
Terry, my
Terry.
girl, Terry.
Yeah, Terry, no doubt.
That's I love her. That's
Yeah,
my
bro.
inspiration right there.
Yeah, shout out to
That's
Terry.
my
Man.
inspiration right there.
Shout
82
out to
years
Terry.
young, babe. She's
And check
just
it out.
starting out. That's right.
Yeah,
82
if you're a young lady, if you're in your 20s, your early 30s, my daughter just turned 30. I would want my daughter who's trying to move forward in her career and journey to sit with Miss Terry, bro. If Miss Terry's sitting at the rooftop, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, babe, you need to speak to that lady right there. Her name is Miss Terry." Just like you all was saying, building these connections and relationships, bro. Because I know Miss Terry can give her some game that I can't give her. It's just that simple. Miss Terry can talk to her about probably modeling. Miss Terry probably knows somebody in New York City that is modeling. It comes down to acting. Hey, Lancelot. Like my daughter would come there with clear intention. Like Jose said, whether we take the train, whether we fly, whether we stop in DC for a day and come on to New York City, she's going to have clear intention. Just like young Noah. Noah had clear intention before they crossed the state line. Because his dad said, "Hey, this is where we're going. You're going to have the opportunity at this opportunity, and we're going to be able to kill two birds with one stone." So I say this, Seafood, man, it's early. There's people that's going to see this now. There's people going to see it later. Listen, man, there's a lot of rooms that people don't even want you in. And that's just being 100. There's a lot of rooms, whether we call them masterminds, whether we call them gatherings, summits, whatever, that you'll go in that room and feel lost. You're not going to ever experience that with the New York City experience. You're never going to experience that with, it's because of the love of the people. And man, listen, Miss Terry, bro, everybody you just flashed on that screen, man, like they're great people.
Yes.
And Mr. Bill Walters, great people. So It's no second guessing, man. We've already said it, Seafood. We already said it. Like, make don't make excuses for it, man. Get in the room because again, when that skyscraper goes up in New York City, in the future, you're gonna look back at these moments and say, "Man, I saw that from the inception." And just get in the room, man.
Well, I
Absolutely.
Show
gotta
up.
I gotta chime in here real quick on something. And everything you said, Tio, is spot on as it always is. I think we know that. But it's
Appreciate
also
that, bro.
what you said about Brandon Doris. I think he's also brilliant as well. And I have said
Yeah, man.
you said, and I've said more than that because he's just a rock star. And I think real recognize real, as we say all the time, right?
That's right.
This
Right.
guy's a
Right.
mover and shaker when I met him. And now we're doing an event together, right? We have our Speaker Mastermind Live, the second annual one that we're doing. We just did one last year. We're doing another one in this November, which is very exciting. But I wanted to share a quick story of the power of getting into a room. I think last time we were on the show, either 2 weeks ago or last week, I had mentioned the first big room that changed my business entirely was Emilio Ramon, right? Where I went to his booth
Yo,
back in 2022, and I met like 80 something people, and no, like almost 100, like 90 some people, whatever the number was. It was up there, and maybe 65 or 70 people are in my world today as part of Connected Leaders Academy, and in some way we're friends. And it just completely shifted my business because I didn't have a business at the time. It basically catapulted my business in the beginning, and then I had other things going on. But that was one room that changed my life, right? And the reason why I'm sharing this is because one room, you just get into one room, and it doesn't have to be 65, 70 people that you meet that are going to change your business. It could be one power connector, one person that you meet, one conversation that could open up a door that wasn't there before, that can just completely alter in a positive trajectory your business. So I'm gonna drop a couple of quick names really quick because I went to another event, and I'm sharing these stories because they're real stories. This is not something I'm making up. These are real stories of real events of real people. I went to Brandon Gadoris's event. Brandon has been inviting me to his event, A to B Con, for 3 years, right? He's been in the CLA for just about that length of time, give or take a few months, but I think maybe 2.5 years. So he's been inviting me for almost 3 years to his A to B Con, and I've said no, no, no 3 times because it was 2 A to B Cons and another event. And I just said I can't do it because my schedule just wouldn't align. I was already booked for things because I'm always going to events, right? You see the pattern here. So I couldn't do it. And then this time around, I could do it, and I had committed well in advance because he gave me like 6 months notice. He's like, "All right, the next one, 2025, is happening. You got to be there." And that was earlier this year. And he said, "You got to be there. I'm giving you 6 months notice." I said, "Okay, I'll be there. I'm committed." So I show up, right, and tell me why I shake hands. I don't shake everyone's hands. I shake as many hands as I can, reasonably. And I went in there with a clear idea of who I want to meet, how I'm going to add value, what I'm looking to get from the event, what I need the most in my business right now, what conversations are going to be a little bit longer, what conversations are going to be straight to the point. I already know in advance. You got to have your game plan before you walk in, right? Remember, you can't acknowledge defeat before the battle, but you also have to have your game plan going into war as well, right? You can't just go into war blindly. You got to know what you're going to do and your strategy, right? So I walked in with a strategy. And from that event, Tony Peck, Celeste, Julie Simers, Colette, Rob Tracy, Russell, Dylan, Giovanni, Pete, Ryan, Guillory, Maria, and I can go, there's like 4 or 5 other names. All of these people, guess what? They're now in the Connected Leaders Academy.
It's awesome.
Lancelot. I mean, like, and it was literally from one event, folks.
Yeah, man.
Do you know what that means? I'm not going to go into the math, but my business blew up off of one event.
That's right.
And the crazy thing is that event is not just people coming into my World of Connected Leaders Academy. Guess what? A lot of these people are part of my virtual conferences now, speaking on other platforms. A lot of these people are now doing other things with me, right? So one opportunity begets another opportunity, which begets another opportunity. And this momentum of success and collaboration and win-win just multiplies. And it 10x's, like Grant Cardone says, right? So never underestimate the power of getting into a room, because one room can literally shift your entire business. It can either take your business off if it's not on right now, or it can revive it with, like, the, when people put those things up. If your business is on life support and you need like a little revival, maybe you just need to go to an event and they could literally revive your business. Or it's gonna take the momentum you already have in your business and it's just gonna multiply it even more. So wherever you are in your business, guess what? You are in a position to make a decision. And you know what that decision is? That decision is, I'm just gonna show up.
That's it.
I'm just going to show up. And it literally, I just gave you a real story, and I gave you another real story last time with Emilio, and I have many, many more as we progress here.
One of the things that I'm noticing about what you just did is the role of consistency does play in credibility and leadership and ownership. So credibility is there because when you consistently show up, you're consistent. Just like I said, everybody was waiting for you. Make sure, oh, is he on the boat yet? Is he in the boat yet? We're going to leave. And like, Jose's just walking over casually. And I'm like, Jose, where are you? He's like, I'm here. And the whole thing about people expect you when you're consistent. They can actually, Jose and I, we know this about each other. We can set our clocks with consistency. Reliability is also part of it. Because if you go to an event and you say to somebody, hey, listen, I want to talk to you about this. I'll call you on Monday at 2:00. Monday at 2:00 comes around and you don't call. Your credibility just went down. If you call at 2:01, that's still okay. But even if you say, hey, you text at 1:58 and say, hey, I'm going to be 3 minutes late, or I'm tied up in something, I'll call you as soon as I'm done. Then that keeps your credibility on top. But I think one of the things about showing up to an event is when you tell someone you're going to be there, right? If something comes up, speak up. Think about and Jose told me this. He goes, did you know there was 9 people who almost didn't make this event? That's you who told me that, right?
Yeah.
And one of them, Engels, who's also in the Connected Leaders Academy, his car blew up. He still made it.
Yeah.
Why did he make that event? Because he knew the importance of showing up. So when you have an excuse, did your car blow up? Did your car blow up?
You mentioned the word consistent, and I love that word consistent. I think we can all resonate with the word consistent because, Lancelot with, his career and as a professional athlete and tap dancer and movie star and all the things, you got to be consistent, right? T.O. is a Marine and leadership guru and all the great things he does and speaking, coaching and best-selling author and all the things he does. You got to be consistent, right? As family men, we have to be consistent. Sifu Rafael, I think when we look up the word consistent in the dictionary, we find your face, right? So at the end of the day, it's very simple. It's very simply, there's one-time effort and there's consistent effort, right? One-time effort, consistent effort. There's a huge gap between the two. It's like this massive bridge. You can be the one-time person who says, hey, I went to this event and it happened and it was good. And then you don't go to another event until next year or later on in Q4 and you went in Q1, you go to another one in Q4. But success actually favors those who consistently show up, right? That's just the reality. Success favors those who are consistent. And there's one more layer to this, not just the ones who are consistent, but the ones who consistently show up even when it hurts. Even inconvenient, even when they're tired and they feel like they've left it all out on the trenches and they feel like they're burned out and they're exhausted and they're their wallets are a little thin, and they're thinking like, oh my gosh, can I afford to do this? Do I have the time to do this? Do I have the energy to do this? Do I have the bandwidth, right? Do I have the mental capacity? Like, we can say all kinds of things, but at the end of the day, remember, consistency favors those who show up, or should I say success favors those who show up consistently all the time, especially when it's difficult. So if it's difficult right now and you're thinking, oh, I want to be there September 14th, but forget about the but. Say, I'm going to find a way to be there. I'm going to find a way to win, because I say winners find a way to win always. Find a way to win, get your ticket, reverse engineer it, and figure out how to get there.
Yeah. I love that, Jose, because think about balancing business, family, and even your personal growth. This is a question for everybody. How do you recommend they show up without feeling overwhelmed? Like, if I show up, my wife is going to be on my case, my girlfriend, my fiance, my boyfriend, whatever it is, they're going to be on my case. Why you going? You leaving me? You have these responsibilities you have to take care of. You don't care. All these things that are happening, but you say, I gotta drown that out. And how do you help somebody understand that it's okay to show up even though you're feeling overwhelmed?
Man, that's a good one. I'll take that, bro. It's the inevitable. You're going to experience it. I'm putting my coaching cap on now, man. It's like I think of a little league football team. They're young fellas. They haven't experienced life. Lancelot knows this. He's a football player. Like, sometimes them little fellas, they don't want to get hit. They don't want to. They don't want to go through the adversity, man. It may be raining outside. They don't want to get muddy. They like their crispy white uniform, with their little pads. But the reality is, as a team, our goal is what Jose Escobar just said. The goal is to win. And you have to have proper discernment to know. I could win on this side and lose over here, which strikes the balance once again. As an example, man, like, I stressed about coming back to Atlanta for my wife's family reunion.
Mm.
I stressed about it, and I had to do, my own medicine type thing. I prayed about it, bro. I sit down here in my lab and just thought about, like Jose said, reverse engineering. I'm gonna start from the end and work my way back type of guy. How can I sit here come Monday morning, Tuesday morning, look at my wife and say, babe, thank you. I appreciate you supporting me in my efforts, my dream, my goals, which goes back to consistency. If you're not consistent, your significant other is going to be the first one to see that you're not consistent. But if you're consistent and you're applying these things that we're talking about today in terms of how to show up, trust me, man, they're either going to rock with you or they're not. It's that simple, man. Just like those little boys. Hey, one of them little boys is going to go out there. He's going to hit. One of them little boys, he's going to take that ball. He's going to run up the middle. He's not going to be afraid. And just his energy organically can spark the other little guys. And just picture those little fellas, in the middle of the field cheering, holding their helmets up in victory. That's what September the dang on 14th is going to be. When we all hugging and saying, hey, man, this was it, bro. Ireland, we got Ireland coming. Okay, everybody, trust me, we'll be hoisting the helmet, man, because you're going to experience that, man. It's the inevitable. No matter thinking what, regardless of age, regardless of your career, your background, bro, anything that you're trying to do for a greater purpose, you're going to face adversity and opposition. The question is, are you going to be in a room with gentlemen and sisters like Terry and the rest of us that are working through these things constantly, 365? That's the question you must ask yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, if I could just expound on what Coach Tio is saying, I love him, but I just had so much more respect for him after last or two, I think it was 2 weekends ago. He had to make that choice, as he had spoke about earlier, about his wife's family reunion, and he made the choice of coming down to a 2-day event. He came down for 1 day, got up that morning to see us off, and then got back on that plane and went home to meet his wife in order to be at that family reunion.
Yeah,
He compromised and he worked and he did what he had to do in order to get to both places. And I thought that was just phenomenal, brilliant, and had so much more respect for him, because he saw there's a conflict, but there's always resolution to that conflict. And baby, let's work this out and let's figure out how we can do this. And he said, okay, I'll fly down for 1 day, get up in the morning, meet us at the boat just to see us off, and then went back to make sure he was with his family. So that is a winner. That's a leader. And I just want to recognize that. But also for the people that are listening, when you have these type of situations with family, there's ways to work it out. There's ways to work it out, but you have to be consistent, which is very important as well. You know what I'm saying? So, hats off to you, T.O. Love you even more after seeing you pull that off, brother.
I got to go ahead, Theo.
Jose, Sifu, Jose, Lance, dog, there's no way I would do that for so many other rooms. That's not going to happen, bro. I'm just going to wake up in the morning, be with my wife, stretch, help get the boys ready. We're going to go to the family reunion. But man, you're talking about Emilio Roman, bro. You're talking about Sifu Rafael, Lancelot Theobald. You're talking about amazing individuals. Like I said earlier, 365, man. You know, when you're with people that love you, care for you, want to see you smile, will do the things necessary to shake off all the questions that you may be asking or sabotaging yourself with. They will help with that. And that's why, man, like I couldn't miss it, man. I told my wife, I said, babe, these fellas. You was in Bristol with Lancelot. Sifu. You know Jose Escobar. Babe, I gotta be there. Like I can't. I will be sitting at the family reunion with a long face, bummed out, knowing that you fellas are in Philly, and I had a chance to be there, and I didn't seize that opportunity. No way, bro. No way. You can't. If you live out of state, come on, man. They got frontier flights in the JFK, LaGuardia, Newark for $74. So don't make excuses. Oh, no doubt. Well, depending on where they're coming from.
Okay.
Atlanta's a major hub. So Atlanta straight into New York. If you get it further out enough, but there's no excuses, man. Get in the room with us. Show up.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, I gotta say, Lancelot. I agree. I also have tremendous respect for you, Tito, for how you handled that. You didn't have to be there.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
But you made it happen, right? You found a way to make it happen, and that speaks to the person that you are. So that's huge. That's huge. And sometimes we do have to make concessions, and we have to make some kind of what is that word that you use, Lancelot?
Compromise.
Compromise. Yeah, I knew it was a C word. Well, you got to compromise, right? And you did, and you figured it out because happy wife, happy life, as they say. So at the end of the day, one thing I'll say is there's a little secret sauce that I don't really talk about a lot, but it's that people don't even consider or think about. And sometimes it's not the golden nugget that you're going to get. Sometimes it's not the value that you added into somebody's life. Sometimes it's not the person that you met that's going to open up that door or the big network that you created while you were there. Sometimes it is just the social media content that you're getting to promote yourself online. And the promotions that come from the social media pieces of all the pictures you took and the hands that you shook and the smiles and the hugs and the things you did, guess what that does? that gives you more visibility. It gives you more credibility. It gives you more authority. It shows people you're in the trenches. It shows people you're in the game. You're playing the game. You're not wearing the uniform on the sidelines, cheering other people on. You're in the game. So when
That's
you're
right.
there and you're posting this stuff on social media, I cannot tell you how many clients I have gotten, how many people have come into my world, how many people have reached out to me that I didn't know, simply because of the content that I've posted on social media, because of events I showed up to. So that's the little piece that people don't even think about. And I tell people
Right.
all the time, if you're showing up to events and you're not snapping away, you're wasting the event. Not completely, but you're missing a big chunk of that pie. Remember, there's a pizza and there's multiple slices, right? So it's what are you giving? It's what are you getting? It's what are you learning? It's who are you meeting? It's what are you looking to get? But it's also what content are you creating for your brand, for your visibility on social media, because that does matter. Whether you like it or not is irrelevant. It just does matter. If you're in business, you got to be on social media, you got to leverage it. And you got to leverage every single event. And one thing I'll say, and I'll end with this on my side, is the biggest, and I had a mentor of mine who told me this, and he was so right. And I figured it out myself. I had to roll my sleeves up and I had to say, I'm going to strap this thing. And what he said to me, because in the beginning, do you think Katie was always on board with me, traveling all the time, going to all these events, investing in courses and programs and mentors and coaches and books and all these things? Do you think she was happy that Amazon box was showing up at my house every day or every other day, a new book coming? And she's like, Jose, you haven't even read the other books you bought. Why are you buying more books? And Jose, why are you buying another course and another mentor, another coach? Oh my gosh, like, when is it going to end? Are you going to another event? Like, what is this? How is this going to be different from the last event, right? So do you think Katie was always on board saying, "Oh yeah, go leave the family,
Right.
invest money and time and go do that"? No. Do you know why she wasn't on board in the beginning as much as she is now? Because I was not making money.
That's
Because
right.
I was moving the needle in my business. Because I was treating it like a hobby. Right? I was poking my business with a stick in the beginning before I even had a business. A lot of times I was like thinking of launching something, and then I finally had like a name, but I didn't have a business, right? And all these things. So in the beginning, you can't expect people to be on board with you, especially the loved ones in your household, immediately. My mentor said, Jose, I'll tell you how to solve it. I want you to stop treating your business like a hobby. I want you to treat it like a business. I want you to be all in. I want you to believe in yourself and in your business more than anybody else does. I want you to have the most high level discipline and consistency and commitment, like uncanny, like anybody else. I want you to outwork everybody to your left and to your right. And I want you to show up for you and to apply everything you're capable of, because it's not going to take more than what you've got. It's just going to take all of what you've got. And if you make money, I assure you, your wife will get on board at some point. And guess what happened? Now she's one of my biggest supporters. And I how life
That's
works and
outstanding, bro.
solve it by just going out there and doing the thing and doing it well.
I got to
That's
say, Jose, presence is power. And when you combine it with purpose, it's unstoppable. And my friend, you are unstoppable. So when you consider everything you just said, everybody listening, think of this showing up as your business. The importance of what your mentor said, stop treating it as a hobby, start treating it as a business, because the connections you make can change the trajectory of your income, the trajectory of even your future. But if you don't show up, if you say, I'm not going to go to that event, I got this, I got that, or, oh man, the money. If you're not in it, you don't win it, just like the lotto, right? So you got to come to our event. And you talked about something, and I brought it early on, and I asked at the end, we're going to talk about this, and you brought it up beautifully. Why is posting about an event a power move? And you talked about that, Jose, because people are going to see what you're doing and they're going to want to connect with you. And you touched upon it so beautifully, Jose. I think I'm speechless, so I'm just going to say ditto.
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 You
Ditto.
guys can't get away with that. I can.
Yeah.
Ditto, man. That's it.
So why is posting about an event after you go to it? Why is taking those pictures, those selfies, pictures of other people, highlighting other people important? Why is that I consider it as a power move? Why would you consider it a power move?
Mm. Well, it's a
Think
power
about
move.
this, Lancelot. You and I went.
I'm saving my thoughts for after these two winners here.
Yeah, but think about it. You and I went to New York City. We could have just had an amazing day, which we did. But what did I consistently do?
Take pictures.
And then what I made sure it wasn't just me. I took pictures of you.
Right.
I took pictures of us. And I'm going to tell you what my fiance said. She goes, "You guys make a cute couple." I'm like, "Get out of here." Because I said, you know what? I want to capture us because we were doing a recon. We were looking at things. And I said, I was capturing the moment. She kind of laughed. She was kidding with me. But it was that important aspect of sharing our experience that we had with the CLA, with my group on X, on Twitter, on which is X, on Instagram, on all of these different places, so that people can see that I'm connected to a powerful individual and you're connected to this guy, right? And
Powerful
how we
individual.
navigate and how we're doing the right things to make sure that they have an incredible time. So for me, that's why I do it, not that I share that. So you're up, Theo.
Yeah, I mean the content is some say content is king. Content is king, man. Like, we living in that we're living in that time and space that why not? Is how I see it. If you could teach something of value, especially along with good friends or a good restaurant, sports event, whatever it may be, why not? Because if we talk about those laws, man, those laws of reciprocity, laws of attraction, uh, law of authority, all these different laws. Yeah, I love, man, the fact. Matter of fact, bro, like this is my new phone and this is my old phone.
Mm.
You see how one's beat the hell up. This is this is my content joint. Like this joint is lives on the edge because it's so much content on it, and I don't have to worry about content. That's one thing I do not worry about is content when it
Mm.
comes to my business specifically because light bulb lessons are happening constantly. So if I take that phone and just record a elder man walking in the grocery store, I could turn that to a light bulb lesson, or I could go help him with his sack, of groceries and put him in the car, and it takes it to a whole nother level. So, man, it's very important. Some people, again, it goes back to that introvert extrovert. Some people are afraid, man, to get on that camera. They make it easy. You could do a voiceover. You could share so many different ways, man, and just put out, what you feel, put out what you believe in, because there's one person, I get frustrated. I don't know about you gentlemen. Sometimes I feel like the algorithm is beating me down because
Yes,
I
absolutely.
wanted to reach more, and I know as a business, hey, it's just like anything else. They're not going to let you as a business just get off.
Mhm.
Like, you put it out there normal
It doesn't go
is
viral,
one
right?
thing. Right. But as soon as you click that boost or you drop that little, payment for that ad, they're going to turn the faucet on and let it run how it, runs. But truth be told, man, I promise you, man, I truly believe, the depths of my soul, gentlemen, uh, the content, man, it's what you want it to be. It's the authenticity of it. Utilize. I mean, anytime I'm in Jose Escobar's presence, I know, like I said, you heard it today. Anytime I'm in your presence, Seafood, man, you gentlemen are high powered, professionals, bro. So I'm very peculiar about how I share content that has you gentlemen, Lancelot, Dr. Oliver Reed. I'm very peculiar about it. And I might sit on it for days before I release it because I never want to be disrespectful. I never want to shine you gentlemen in a negative light or anything like that. So I'm always following the spirit with that, if that makes sense. So yeah, share, bro. Share the content. Get it out there, man.
Yeah,
I,
absolutely.
I tell you, one of the reasons why I share is I have the idea of a power of reinvention, and I've always felt that it was important to show the world how you're doing things on a daily basis. It's
Mm,
about consistency, and it's consistency in posting, but it's also consistency in doing. And people
yeah,
have to see that you're getting to where you're going because you're consistently doing. It's not like we just turned up and we got a coaching business. It's not like I just turned up and all of a sudden now I'm acting or I'm dancing. I've been consistently doing, but at the same time, consistently posting. So everybody sees that you can get and do anything you want, but you got to put the time and effort in. Posting is power. A lot of people say stuff like, "Oh, you're trying to be famous." It's not about being famous. This is about showing people on a daily basis what it takes to be successful. That's what
yeah,
the posting is for me. Posting is power.
Mm.
The power to show others that you can do anything you want if you consistently every day put the work in, because that's how you get from point A to Z. It just doesn't happen overnight. It happens through hard work and consistency. So that is what posting means to me. And Sifu, I just noticed that I am hitting the table. I just realized I get it. Sifu said,
You get excited, man.
yeah, I get excited, and I just realized I
no
am hitting
doubt.
the table. But so that's what posting means to me, man. Consistency and showing others how to be. Success is based off consistently doing something over and over every day, year in, year out, day in, day out. That's how you become successful.
Yeah.
I want to
I
add
got to
my
before you go, Jose, I shared a video with you
yeah.
while Lancelot and I were on that rooftop because I got a really cool drink and I needed
Oh,
to share.
yeah, I saw that. That's really cool. Yeah, really nice. I want to share my final thought because my next call has been waiting for 7 minutes. The good
Let's
news
go.
is shout out to Alethea Felton. She's a rock star. She said, "Hey, take your time. I know you're live." So I'm gonna just wrap up with this thought here in terms of posting, the importance of posting. Right. Good morning, Farah, and all the amazing winners that have been chiming in here this morning. We appreciate you being here live. And if you're watching a replay, put hashtag replay and let us know your thoughts and just chime in. Right.
Right.
And let us know if you're coming. Let us know if you're coming to September 14th. If you're not, get a ticket, right? And if you are already coming, let us know. But anyway, I wrote down 5 points, like really quick bullet points, because I didn't want to forget them and not give you the value I wanted to give you. So the first one is, and there's no particular order. These are just my thoughts that came to my head into why you should be posting on all the events you go to, right? The one reason is because, remember, a lot of times you are maybe one step ahead or 50 steps ahead from somebody else in business, right? It could be one step or 50 steps. It could be 100 steps. It could be 2 steps. As if you're 1 or 2 steps or 10 or 50 steps ahead, guess what? You can coach, you can consult, you can help, you can add value to that person, and they are looking to you because you're 1 step or 50 steps ahead. So, but the only way they're going to know that is if you're being transparent and visible on social media, showing them what you're doing, right? They have no clue what you're doing, right? And now you're already 1 step ahead if you're going to events and they're not. That's clear, right? So you got to show it. You got to be present, right? That's one thought to consider is there are people that are a few steps or 1 step behind you that are going to gravitate towards you and say, I want to connect with this person. This person is doing what I want to be doing, right? And that's important. Right? Not so much the beach travels and the nice restaurants, and those things are nice. I'm talking about just being in the environment of growth, right? And doing the things and meeting people and shaking hands and adding value. The next thing is authority, influence, and credibility. The only way you have that is that people see it, right? If you don't show it, how do they know you have that? How do they know that you're doing the things? How do they know that you are changing lives? You have to physically post it and have people see it, because that is, of course, based on testimonials, based on, things that people might meet you in person and get that vibe from you. But you're going to miss a whole big batch of people that have no clue about that because you're just not showing up on social media. Right. And again, you're creating this content by going to the events. And the next thing is, you never know who's watching. You know how many people I've talked to, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, Jose, you're always doing things. You're always blah blah blah." And I'm like, I would never know that because you never comment or like ever. Like I would never know that you knew that. But these people are ready, willing, and able to do business with me because they see me consistently doing the things that they want to be doing, or they see a few steps, whatever it might be. I don't know how many steps, it's different for everybody, but they see them a few steps ahead, and they're like, "Hey, how can I get into your world?" Right? But again, it's because of the simple fact that they have been watching, and you don't know who's watching, and you have to show up. And sometimes the people that are watching are in your own home, so you got to be careful too, right? So you got to make sure that you are showing up consistently on social media. And then the last point is people gravitate towards winners, right? People gravitate towards winners, and winners show up. Winners are creating. Winners are impacting. Winners are changing lives. Winners are serving and supporting and encouraging and cheerleading and doing all the things that we need to be doing. And that's why we do what we do. So don't let events go. Don't let events not be maximized, right? And the way you maximize events, I already told you, is going prepared, all the things we talked about earlier, but also the little detail that so many people miss. They might post one picture from the event, or like two or three, or allow themselves to be tagged in other people's pictures, right? No, go in there and get a bunch of content, get a few videos, get a bunch of pictures, and then you select the best of the best, and then you post it, and you say, "Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm about. These are the lives I'm impacting. These are the amazing people I've met. Shout out to this person and that person," and tag people and show up, because that's how people end up saying, "Oh my gosh, T.O. is crushing it. Oh my gosh, Lancelot, I want to get around this guy. Sifu, that guy is always at events. He's always doing these things and meeting all these people. He seems like somebody I need to know. I got to go to this event. I see he's going to that New York thing. I want to be there too." So that's how we create it, but you got to leverage it, and you can't let it go to waste.
Powerful. Jose, I'm
Mic drop.
booking my hotel room today for our meeting in 2 weeks. So see, it's about Jose and I. We're probably going to be doing something crazy anyways, but yes, Commanders versus Giants, right? I'll say it right here. Go, I'm not going to say which team. Think about every time you get a chance to be with somebody incredible, take the opportunity to share that moment, right? And if it's a private moment, keep it private. But if it's a moment that you can share with other people, share it, because you both benefit. The room benefits. So if you've been to our events, share it. Share that you're coming to our event. So everybody that I've posted up, Giovanni, everybody coming along that's been, I've taken some people off. But if you're coming to our event, toast yourself by posting about it. Post, post, post. I'm going to the event. One of the things I tell people is, and we even have it on New York City Experience, the website, Sifu Rafael.com/NYC. We say on there, on your way there, post, "I'm on my way." Look, on my post that I did, that Lancelot, on the train ride, I even posted that I'm on my way. When we were going to Maryland, we were going to Born to Risk. I took a picture when I got in the car. I picked up Lancelot and I said, "Let's take a selfie." And then I said, "Take a picture here, take a picture there." I even said, "Look, we're in traffic. Take a picture and say to people, all these people must be going to the event." Right? Remember that, Lancelot?
That's good.
Because
That's good.
we have to encourage other people to join us. Let us not go alone. Last one I want to say is, if you have a team, don't go by yourself. Bring your team. Bring your team to New York City Experience, because what they will learn, you may not be able to be the one that teaches it to them. Lancelot may be able to teach your team something. Theo may be able to teach your team something. Jose will be able to teach something that your team will not learn from you. Maybe I will. Maybe one of the other people that are joining us will be able to teach your team something that you cannot teach, because maybe you're not the expert. Remember, we're not all experts in all things, but we should be an expert at least in one thing: connecting. Jose, tell Alethea we said hello. Thank you. And tell her thanks for holding on. And she knows that greatness is going to be meeting her in a couple of minutes. So everybody have
you guys.
an exceptional rest of the day, everybody. Take care.
All right. Take care, Jose. T.O. Sifu.
Yeah.
Next week, everybody.
Love you,
Make sure
fellas.
to sign up. Let's go. Let's get
Peace.
more names on that list, people.
All right.
NYC Experience. Sifu Rafael, Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Turn it up, let's go. Turn it up, let's go. Let's go. No time to wait. Bass too loud and the vibe too great. Let's go. Full on fire. Every move hit like a live wire. Let's go. Step and go. No fear here, just hard to go. Let's go. Lights on blast. We don't hold back. We move fast. Hit the flow, we don't miss. Whole room lit like a first kiss. No cap, no stress, no chill. Just truth, emotion, and will. This is how we speak in steps. No script, just step. Every beat we turn it up and leave that silence in the dust. Let's go, no time to wait.